walked to like the convenience store for this tablecloth.
Mike just started recording, Sharon.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Tribal Council of Survivor Hamilton Old Meets New. We are here, thank goodness, with the Kobara tribe, who definitely deserves to be here this week, and I'm super glad that they are. It's been basically a month since Silas got voted out, and the tribe looks a little different right now after the tribe swap, but they got crushed in the immunity challenge by the other two tribes, 10-10-1, and now they got to vote somebody out. So without further ado, let's talk to these folks. So welcome, everybody. You guys all have a really unique look going for you. Does anybody want to volunteer and describe why you've all decided to wear black and sunglasses?
We figured we just tanked that challenge just so badly.
Yeah, that's what we did. We tanked.
We tanked just so badly. Yeah, so we figured we should wear black.
We're just wearing black, hiding in our hoodies.
You're in mourning?
Sunglasses, mourning with our white claws.
Yeah. This tribal council has been brought to you by White Claw, Black Cherry, the best a human can get.
I will say we can feel free to continue to do this, and then maybe somebody from White Claw will notice the 3 or 4 views on my YouTube videos. We appreciate it.
We'll get this going. If I can win a Benz, we can win some White Claw sponsorship.
Fuck, if they send Mike a 2-4, that's worth it.
That's exactly right. So Elliot should be joining us in a little while when he can, but we have 7 of you from the tribe represented here. We have a lot to talk about, but I think the first thing, just to talk about kind of this last week is, do you guys want to talk at all about how the tribe has been coming together since you guys became a new tribe, the kind of Kobara 2.0? Chelsea, what's it been like as a different version of Kobara?
It's been good. I think when we chatted earlier in the week, Dave's gift game is on point. Lots of jokes, lots of fun. John hates us all, as shown by his scenery. But other than that, it's been good. It's been fun. It's been lighthearted.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
basically the same as usual, right? It was we had, other than the loss, which sucks, but we went on just kind of joking around, having a good time, getting to know everyone. That loss obviously sucked, but it was same as usual.
John, do you agree with that? Is it been just the same as it was before the tribe swap?
It's been a little less fun for me, but I found myself having to strategize a lot more. So no, it's been a lot more work for sure for me, anyways.
Right. And what I wanted to ask you is about two immunity challenges ago. Kobara ended up winning on an error by David Cox. But you were the last one to answer in that one. So even though your tribe won, did you feel a lot of blowback from that?
Yeah, I felt like I let the team down again. So no, it didn't feel good. There was also a moment I was looking at, I scrolled to the bottom of the post, and the first thing I saw was your screen cap of the time the responses came in. So I didn't see that Dave C had spelled it wrong. All I saw was that I was on the bottom. So that was the first thing I saw before I read any of the recap or saw anything that was in the group chat. So I thought I blew it for that challenge too.
So did you get to work then, even like just from that point on, even though you didn't have to go to tribal on Wednesday, did you still kind of get to work at the beginning of this week to just in case this happened?
No, I wouldn't say I did. I think, I knew we weren't going to tribal council, so I didn't bother. I didn't start strategizing until after the most recent loss. Cool.
So getting to this week, so we had 6 of you participate. Kyle and Sharon, you did not participate. But I wanted to ask, do you feel like it's an advantage to have people sitting out because you can jump in and try to help everyone else with their questions? Kyle, maybe I'll ask you that, or Sharon, whoever wants to answer.
I'm only here so I don't get fined.
Nice.
Okay, Sharon?
It's great, right? It's great having
Good
two extra
hoodie.
people sitting around. Like we had a a little chat going, and Kyle was there to kind of support us to make sure that we get through it, and Sharon was there to help out too, right? Like it's good. It's extra people, right? That's all it is. It's extra heads thinking about a question.
Well, and my question was a little bit. Go ahead, Sharon.
I was gonna say I did get Chelsea's question right. Unfortunately, it got lost in all the messages, and she didn't see it.
So you were off, but you kind of worked out the question yourself using math and helped Chelsea out, or but you tried to help Chelsea out.
I was trying to help Chelsea out. I broke it all down, each bag, how I got there, and then everyone else's challenges came in too. So it just got lost. But I mean, the team effort was there, so I think we tried our best, and we tried to help each person as much as we could with their challenges as fast. I literally was driving, and I had to pull over.
Right.
Again.
Yeah, sorry for that, for doing all these challenges while you're driving.
I didn't even have to answer, and I still pulled over.
Well, and my question was a little bit facetious because you only got 1 point, and you guys, even with all the help, you guys completely screwed up the challenge. Kyle, to your point, Sharon mentioned that she worked it out for Chelsea. Do you think there's just a matter of kind of going back to basics and having people like Sharon and yourself in those cases kind of jump in and help early? Or do you think it's better just to stay out of it and let everybody do their work?
Kudos to you for coming up with a question that got to the right answer using the wrong math. So good on you. Good on you.
Saw that.
Good thing this is a university math class and there's no part marks. In terms of, I mean, it's ironic. I'm in the middle of writing report cards, so I was at the computer the whole time. I was able to help out. I think when it's not your question, you're just kind of scrambling to help as quickly as possible and as many people as you can. And so, definitely, I think if I could have done it differently, I probably wouldn't jump in just because you're looking at two different. I got stuff all over my notepad and I'm looking at questions just mishmashed together, and I think it's more chaotic when you're trying to support.
Right. So, Cowan, do you think that this challenge performance is indicative of kind of a leveling of the playing field, or do you think it was just one bad performance for your tribe?
I think it was one bad performance. Absolutely. I don't know what happened, right? It was just I don't know if it was the questions or I honestly don't know. It was just a bad performance, really. We all have good players. Yeah. We have great players. It's just it was just a bad week.
It's not a good sign that you don't know at all what happened. I'll just be honest there. Just do some self-reflection and figure it out so it doesn't happen again. Kyle's just got another black shirt on. We'll see how many he has.
Hey, I hope someone's recording this because it's going to be an immunity challenge question.
I'm pretty sure he's taken off 4 layers so far.
Yeah.
Kyle found every black piece.
I look back on the combo. For me, my internet dropped, so I was in panic mode.
Right.
I was fucking running around the cottage trying to disconnect stuff. I was in pure panic mode. I just got lucky. I got it in. I look back on it and read a bunch of it, and I don't know. It was just,
Right.
It was a little different than their old tribe, but I mean, we were still there. We were still doing really good. It was just, I don't know.
That's fine. That's fair. So I think that we've kind of talked enough about the failure of that immunity challenge, and hopefully you guys can learn from that and do a little bit better next time. So talking about now the fact that you have to go to tribal today, which is the first time in a month for this tribe, but not necessarily the first time in a month for Dave and Sharon. I wanted to ask Dave, do you, when you join the tribe and kind of getting to this point now, do you feel like kind of you and Sharon are vulnerable, being the only Navalas on the tribe?
Oh yeah, it would definitely put a target on us since the old Kobaras, Kobara 1.0, have already built up their friendships over many years. And I know nobody in this tribe. I didn't know Sharon before this game started, right? So coming over, you're always in fear that it may not be just your performance, but also your social standing could put a target on your back at some point in the game, right? So,
right.
It, for me at least, I know Sharon knows more people than I do, but for me, yeah, I knew that I was a little bit more vulnerable than anybody else. So.
On the flip side of that kind of having no real allegiances coming into a new tribe makes you a vote, makes you a potential vote for anybody who's looking to build a group. Did you get some people come in to talk to you and get to know you?
Well, yeah, no, like, and that's what I sort of assume might have happened when I first joined the game and was on Navala, but that didn't really pan out the way that I thought. Like, no one really like came out and said, "Oh, hey, you know nobody, I'm gonna try and friend you up," right? But on this tribe, it seemed like everybody was at least welcoming to me, right? And there wasn't anybody that I didn't get a message from. And whether like we were talking just shooting the shit or talking about the game, it was something, right? And on the last tribe I was on, there was a whole group of people that didn't even reach out to me because I guess they thought that their game was solid the way it was, right? But I think these guys know the game a little bit better, and they know that it's probably smart to reach out to everybody.
Right. So, Elliot, what for you was today's vote about, or was this week about, in terms of deciding who's going to be a target and how you guys are going to move forward into the next challenge?
Good answer, Elliot.
Did you hear?
Good answer.
Elliot, did you hear?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
great.
say again. Sorry, I'm trying to get better internet.
No worries. I just wanted to ask for you, looking at who you wanted to vote for this week, kind of, what was your thought process, or what do you think the tribe is thinking about going into this tribal council and going into next week?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I mean, coming into this tribal council, I mean, just coming in this game in general, I was like, dang, I got to be aggressive. Like this tribe knows what they're doing. They got connections. They know what they're doing. And then, pretty quick into it, I realized that I brought a butter knife to a gunfight. That this is there's a lot of snakes that know what they're doing in this tribe. And,
Elliot, I should have brought a peanut butter knife to this gunfight.
Peanut butter knife, yeah. And so I don't know, like I think week by week it's going to be so exciting working with this group, working with these people, and just how so much can change, and how just it's hard to know the future for just week by week. I can't add more than that, I guess.
John, I saw you have a reaction to that when you were drinking your Bud Light Lime there.
Oh, I'm just laughing at the peanut butter knife. I almost killed Elliot once with a peanut butter knife. That's
a story for another day, it seems like, or maybe for our plate episode.
Is there a peanut allergy?
There's a peanut allergy. We'll just say that it's
okay.
It's a kryptonite. Peanut butter is a kryptonite.
I don't know. No, it's still going on. Yeah.
So
yeah, I have an allergy to peanuts.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Easy. It's a short story. Jordan, what for you? As different people came to you over the last couple of days talking about strategy and who they wanted to vote for. Kind of, what did you like? What's your opinion on it? Like in terms of what you want the tribe to know around your vote, and again going into next week.
It's tough, right? Like, I think I'm kind of echoing what Elliot said, is each week is going to be tough, and we're not used to losing, and we had a couple misfires. This last tribe immunity challenge was a implosion for kind of all of us, myself included. Like, I didn't get my answer right either, but I think we're all trying to play a pretty straight up and down game right now, and you know, if we want to keep winning challenges, then, you know, got to put a lot of value on performance. So,
Right.
you know, this is a little bit new to us, being our only our second tribal council, but it won't be our last. And I think it's just, we all have pretty good communication. I think we're all chatting. At least I think we're all kind of chatting when we need to. So yeah, it was kind of tough. Like, to be honest with you, it was not easy, an easy one, I don't think, for any of us.
Well, and you really need to juggle, you know, the short-term game and what you guys are going to do as Kobara 2.0, but then also consider that there's two other tribes of people who you all have different relationships with that will eventually kind of come together, and you want to have a good group when that does happen. So Kyle, I wanted to ask you, how do you juggle that? How do you juggle with kind of thinking short-term, but also needing to make sure that you have the numbers when, you know, down the road when the merge happens?
Just 1 second.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
What was the question?
Bravo.
I thought he looked more like the Unabomber.
He wins the black.
You win
black
the
layers.
award, Kyle.
I thought he looked pretty muscular. I was like, holy fuck, he looked like he bulked up.
You're asking about balancing short term with like long term?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as long term for me, period. Like, you gotta get from 1 week to the next. And you know, like, I know there's been a lot of talk about, you know, like partnerships with other tribes and stuff. And I think, you know, for me personally, one of the things I hate the most about this game is the meddling from other people. So like, for me, like, I have zero long-term plan. Like, I think, you know, every single person on this group has probably heard from me, and not one of them got a name from me, and not one of them got like a request for an alliance from me. So I'm not thinking about anything past this week.
Does that mean that part of your strategy is to be a little bit kind of withholding with, you know, kind of opposite of what Silas was doing a month ago, in terms of kind of not putting too much information out there and more just being, yeah.
Look, you know, I'll talk about the Silas thing quickly. Silas threw a lot of shade, but he's the guy who was firing out, you know, photos of people with X's over their faces. So he got what he deserved. But in terms of that, you know, sorry, I'm hammered, so I can't remember what I'm talking about.
That's okay.
In terms
Go with it, man.
What was the original question? You talk about
Doesn't matter.
No,
I was just basically saying, like, you mentioned that you didn't put any names out there, right? Or you didn't suggest any alliances. And so to me, that seems like you're not, like, you're maybe taking information in, but not putting information out.
No, I think there's a bunch of speculation about like why I picked this tribe, and like people have thrown out the word like spy, like I'm someone's lackey or something, which is hilarious. But you know, the reality is, like, this is the tribe that's best set up to win challenges, and that's the job, right? You know,
and we did such a good job of that this past week.
We were
such a good job.
We were impeccable at that. Like, you know, talk about your all-time backfires. But like, you know, like, I know some people like going to tribal, and personally, I think they're crazy. So I think the best thing is just don't go to tribal, win challenges, and then we don't have. I mean, I like seeing you guys. I don't see anybody, but you know,
right.
I'd rather not see you, to be honest.
Should we ask John how we don't go to tribal council?
Oh, fuck.
John, do you have any theories about that?
I think we all have to book Land Rover appointments, right?
Yeah, I guess probably just quit my job so that I'm not at work. That'd be a good idea, I think.
I told John I was just going to take up from. I think we were each going to take an hour of his time at his dealership on Mondays and Thursdays.
Well, and John, you know, to that point, it sounds like a lot of people are talking about keeping Kobara strong, dominating the challenges, kind of getting back to the Kobara strength, which is the challenges. And that, to me, sounds like people are narrowing their focus on the people who have been at the bottom of the challenges. And does that mean that people have been targeting you, or that you feel like you are, you know, public enemy number one?
So I guess I don't agree that Kobara is the strongest tribe anymore. I think with the split, I mean, it was a totally different game when it was all old players versus all new players. that was never fair to begin with. It made for a lot of fun. But I think it's anybody's game right now. I think that the next few challenges, I think, are going to be split evenly. I don't think there's any chance that Kobara is going to dominate. I think there's some strong players in each of those tribes, and I think you're only as strong as your weakest link, particularly if it's a challenge where everybody's got to get in. It's not 1-to-1 head-to-head.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think Kobara is going to continue to dominate at all. And I'm surprised that people weren't thinking more long term this week with their strategies than continuing to win, because I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you don't need to finish second. So
what's that?
True. You do want you to finish second.
You only need to finish second.
So John, did you spend a lot of time over the past couple of days getting that message out, getting creative with how you did that?
I did. Yeah. I mean, there's no surprise. There's no secret that, I was certainly the poorest performer in terms of challenges. So my only option was to try and get people to think long term, to realize that there's some pretty strong alliances in this game, and that people should be thinking more about voting than thinking about winning the next challenge, because that's anybody's game at this point.
I think is probably a really good narrative. True, but probably not. So.
Well, and I think it's funny that
I
think it's funny that John says we're only as strong as our weakest link, and then he points out that he cost us a couple challenges. So I mean,
well, John's the only one I know who has a work schedule that directly conflicts every single challenge day. So, that everything can be taken with a grain of salt. And, if John, and my point would be, if John is someone that you want to work with, then you help him. You don't just trash him because of that.
Well, and there's no trashing to John. And I've said this to a few people, but, and John, I say this with as much love, is I feel like you are the straw house and you will blow whatever way we huff and puff enough. And so, in the Silas vote, I understood that John committed to both sides of the alliance, that he was going to vote with them. That means one side is going to love him and one side is going to hate him. And so he went with well, I mean, he posted in the group chat that he voted for James. So I don't think it's a secret that
no, it's not a secret.
where John voted. But
just like David M.
Yeah, everybody does it. Everybody has posted in the wrong chat at some point in time. But I think what it's done is, like, for me, I would say that, to see someone who literally will say, yep, I'll vote with you, turn right around and say, yes, I will vote with you. You don't know where that person actually lies. And, John, I respect the fact that you did not give up trying. I'm sorry that I didn't bite on the clickbait. Oh, Kyle's about to take off another layer, I think.
He's got to make noise or else he's not going to show up on the video.
Somebody get a $1 bill.
Kyle needs to make some noise because everyone needs to see how tight this is.
Tighter and tighter.
Jeez. He's going to have body paint underneath.
Probably.
And Kyle, I'd say this is a family show, but with Callan dropping F-bombs every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I apologize.
That's say a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's out the window. My rating's out the window.
So, Chelsea, you were saying something interesting that, it's not necessarily just about community challenges, though that's important, but also you want to work with people that you trust. And that flip-flopping is seen as kind of a negative.
Yeah, and I would say that it can also be your detriment, because people will feel confident partnering with some people in the game because they've seen a track record, and this is very much for the olds. Okay, this person, when they've told me they've done this, they have done this. And Charade even said, like, cross me once or, fool me once, but I won't let it happen again. And I think the olds are taking that approach to start the game. I'm not even giving you the opportunity to fool me once because I know your history. So, and I think, like, John, you got very creative and very in depth with your videos and your whole laid out strategic plan in the plan. And then after that, I think all of us kind of acknowledged how great the videos were. Thank you very much. And then we went fairly quiet, and then today, John, I got to apologize because I was out for a walk and John was sending many messages, and I ended up dropping the keys to my apartment and my fob partway through my walk, and I couldn't find them. And then I was like, John, I don't need you mansplaining the game to me. And so, so I got to apologize because there was a little bit of stress with thinking that I'm not going to be able to go home today. So apologies, John.
Right.
But no,
Apologies
like John
accepted.
never gave up. And I have to give him full marks for that.
You know, and you mentioned something interesting about kind of Shareed mentioning, fooling me once or fooling me twice, shame on me, right? And I wanted to ask, you know, this game for Kobara is still fairly new. This is really most of your second tribal council in a month, right? And so, Cowan, I wanted to ask you, as someone who's played before, and then I'm going to toss it to Kyle and Elliot after, but just how much does past games impact you? Because you may have been burned, like you were voted out by Elliot and by John, right? At last game, right? And then 13 years ago, Kyle probably voted you out, right? And so, like, how much do those things play into your mind, as even if they haven't burned you in this game?
Well, you always think about it, right? You're always going to have it on the back burner. You're always going to think about who you can actually trust in this game, because once upon a time they voted you out, right? I've never won, so technically everyone in this game I can't trust. I think, you know, I've made a big move in the past, so I have this persona as like a big player. Like I'm the fucking. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Like you know what I mean? I'm like a mastermind, and I have these like creative ideas, and you know what I mean? I think I have that persona, and you know, I mean, the past games, they will come back, right? Like they're always going to come back and make you question what you're doing, and it's going to make everyone question. Like for me, they're going to question me, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and Elliot, I wanted to ask you. You know, I know it was like basically half our lives ago. Honestly, it feels like it. But you know, how much do you remember from going up against Kyle for a whole summer, and then kind of getting all the way to the end in the finals of Survivor Hamilton 2? Yeah, does that play any factor at all, or either of you, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, we fought. Hey, Elliot, we fought in the living room every day. Every day we fought in the living room.
Yeah, it was. I mean, at the end of the day, it is also a game, right? So, like, just as much as like Risk is a game or Settlers is a game, and you might not like. There's just so many dynamics that you. I mean, having that past experience with someone just builds a better bond for the next time you play that game. So I don't know if it's always a good characteristic of how a future result. Like, what did they say? Like the past results might not predict future performance. So. I think it's kind of along those lines that at the end of the day, it is a game and everything's so dynamic in that. Yeah, I mean, you're having played the game before, you have that perspective that sometimes you're in a situation where you need people to work with you, and then sometimes you're not in that. Like it's just you just have that better understanding of like, you know what, it's worth like let's explore something, let's chat something through, and so yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Kyle, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, you know, I don't know that I fully agree.
Or remove?
Yeah, I don't know that with what Elliot said. I think that, you know, like human psychology, like you are who you are when you get squeezed. That's who you are. So I think every single person in this game is exactly what they are when they get squeezed. And anyone who tells you anything different is lying. So
Yep.
I think, you know, like, I think when the pressure's on and someone outsmarts you, like that's who you are, like how you react then, right? And I think for me, like with this game, one of the things that, and we talked about this, like when I first joined, like about, you know, having been on the winning end of this before and becoming a target and all of the distrust that goes with that. You know, I would challenge anybody in this game who played with me in 2007 to tell me exactly how I screwed them over. I don't think anyone could. So, I mean, for me, the last couple of days has been perfect. I turned my phone off. John, like, I love you, buddy. We live together. I told you right to your face that I was voting for you Thursday night, and then I shut my phone off. So
No, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about it. Here we
And it
are.
wasn't annoying at all.
No, I didn't get one fucking message from you. It's awesome.
Listen, I've been living it up. I've got so many messages on unread right now, and it's been a great 2 days.
Good man.
That seems like a good strategy if you're confident that you're not getting the votes against you.
You can't worry about that. Like, there's just everyone's gonna have their narrative that they subscribe to, and everyone's gonna have like I can't sit here and convince people that I'm not aligned with this person, that person. Like, they don't know me. So I mean, the best thing I can do is just be honest where I can. Like, I'm here to win challenges, period. That's it.
Right. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to the group before we get to the votes?
I just really love this tribe. I'm a few White Claws deep, I'll say that much. But no, this tribe is Kobara 2.0, even from the very get-go. John, if it happens the way I think it's going to happen, I'm sad to see you go. But I think it's going to happen the way you think it's going to happen, given your sign.
I'm going to regret this. I'm going to regret this sign if it doesn't go the way I think it's going to go.
And I do not believe that there was any. I do not believe that there was any new development, and I'm not going to clickbait.
On the other side of this sign, it says "I love you guys," and I'm going to flip it over.
Okay, Mike.
It was if it does go the way we think it does, then John, you gave it. Like, you went all out.
I'm gonna give you a standing.
You took Adderall, stayed up all night. It was a lot of fun. You never know. Hey, I could be wrong, right? But
hey, listen, I told Sharon that I did those videos at 2:00 in the morning. I waited until 7:30 to send them out because I was embarrassed about the fact that I was doing those videos at 2:00 in the morning.
I also loved the angle because you were sitting squatted on your knees,
like kneeling on the floor.
Did you have a wide angle lens because your knees looked like they were 2 inches big and your head looked like it was 12?
My head is actually legitimately bigger than anything else on my body. It's a house head. So.
Is there any way we can post that on the website?
Because those videos sent them all to Mike.
Hilarious. They're amazing.
I'll leave that up to you, Mike. If you want to post them, go ahead.
And we'll just
send them 6 White Claws.
I don't want to. There's a lot of names on there. I don't want to reveal everything to everybody. But those types of videos, I want to be able to share later.
You know how Bachelor has after the final rose? Can we do like an after the final torch? Can we do that and everything comes out?
Something like that, of course.
At the barbecue, play it at the barbecue.
Yes.
You can talk to Mike, because it's funny. Actually, I mean, one thing people need to realize is you put something out in the group, it's getting everybody anyway. So, I mean. Those videos, John, good on you, man. But I mean, Elliot, when's the last time we spoke before this game?
Oh, Chris's bachelor party. So just before COVID.
Yeah, but when's the last time I saw you?
Oh, like that years. I didn't even know you were a teacher. I thought you were still working for Bell.
I heard that conversation. That was hilarious.
We're all like several kids apart here, and I mean, I haven't seen or talked to these guys in a decade. It is what it is.
But Kyle, you turn your phone off when you don't want to talk to people. So I don't think it's so much about you as much as you're maybe just out of that group.
Full disclosure, yeah, I was removed. Either I've been removed or I just shut my phone off for 11 years.
Kyle's on Exile Island of the Bastards.
Yeah, Kyle's no longer a bastard.
I mean, that story I guess is for another day, but I don't even know where that. I don't even know what that means. So.
I love tribal council.
I know. Staying at home to piss my mom off, but other than that,
yeah.
Well, and I wanted to ask another question, just based on some of the things you guys were talking about, because it sounds like John was very, very active over the past couple of days, talking to everybody, right? Whereas Kyle was very, very quiet, right? Didn't talk to anybody, basically, barely talk to anybody. And so, Jordan, I wanted to ask you. Maybe doesn't have to be about this vote specifically, but just in general, is there more of a desire to play with people who seem to be putting in that effort and who seem to be like really fighting versus people who are more, and I know Kyle, you're doing your own strategy, but against people who are not really, who seem like they're not doing it?
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. And I don't know if you can, just have two buckets like that. Like you're either, active or you're quiet.
Or not.
I think it comes down to, people's personalities as well, right? Like, I'm not a super active guy in our chats. Like I'm not in, all over, each group chat and sending messages all the time. But I've been able to talk to people and have some good conversations. So I think it really all depends. And, I will give kudos to John as well. I think those videos were hilarious, but, for some people it was just, maybe a little too little too late. Right. So, it was, it's a hard one to say. I don't think that you can put everybody in a active or quiet, but for me personally, I'd say that it just comes down to, what type of conversations I'm having with those types of people and really trust. Right. So, I think it's important to be able to know, I think, what you want to be doing like after each immunity challenge.
But even that is something that, like, are you active or quiet as a person is one thing, but active or quiet at challenges or active or quiet at tribal council, they're two different things. Like if you're quiet at challenges, you're not showing up, that is a problem. Whereas if you're active then, and then you're just like, hey guys, like to what Kyle did, this is my vote. I felt like, well, if that's his vote and he hasn't talked to anybody that I've talked to, that probably is still his vote. Right. And I don't think there is any change in that. So
I couldn't agree with that more because, not to keep talking about Kyle, but I mean, he shut it down, right? But
he's putting on more layers right now.
But he does great. He does great at challenges, right? So there's nothing set in stone, right? There's no, we're gonna take the person that talks the most, or we're gonna take the person that talks the least. There's nothing set in stone.
John, did you actually turn your sign around, or does it just look different now?
Oh no, I'm partially blocking it with my head. So
okay, that's
my enormous head.
The enormous head.
10 times the size of my kneecap.
And you're tiny.
I only saw his head, so
it's funny just hearing old Kobara talk. I feel like, and I don't know if Dave feels the same way, but I feel like I've been playing my second season of Survivor Hamilton because this has been so different from my old tribe. It's been nice to be in a tribe that knows their shit, is organized.
Sorry, we know it, but we still tanked it.
Fucking shit the bed.
Yeah, but we won our first challenge together. It worked the first time. The second challenge, not so much. But
beginner's luck, or like we might be an okay tribe. We'll see.
Oh shit.
Right. But I would say like the one thing that I did differently coming into this new tribe was that if someone didn't reach out to me that I didn't know, I then reached out to them to make sure that I had talked to everybody. And that wasn't something that had happened the first time around. And I realized that wasn't the best thing to do with people I didn't know. So this time around, I was like, I don't know them, but you know what? I'm just going to like stir up a conversation, say hi, introduce myself, and then kind of go from there. So I'm not kind of hiding behind the closet, door. I think too, for me, I also am very respectful to the men on our tribes that are married or have girlfriends. So I think going into this, it was hard for me to stir up conversations with strangers, being like, what will their partners think of them talking to someone they don't know all the time? So
wait, can I say one thing? The women in our family have been through this before. So
not in Navala. They don't know.
Oh yeah, on our side. You know what I mean? I think that's what you're saying. We're playing again. We're playing again. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of the wives that are new to the game as well, or girlfriends, like there were a couple like, hey, I have to get off the phone. My wife's giving me a look.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like.
Yeah, that was probably Jenna and Ian.
and Andre and Shereen, and you know what I mean. Like,
Sure.
and so I just really tried to be respectful of the fact that how much I was talking to people outside of a group message.
That makes sense.
Especially with the guys that I don't know.
Mhm.
So I think that also played a little bit in getting to know some of the people on my old tribe. But yeah, I just feel like there was a bit of a shift. There was a lot more of a team effort, even though we lost. But I still feel like it was much more of a team effort than I felt on Novella.
I think it was a team effort of losing, and really just trying to make sure that we didn't want to let any other tribe have fear at any point in time. You know, I think tanking every question was the right approach, except for Cowan. You really effed it up and got us a point. So
Yeah, way to go,
way
Cowan.
to go, buddy.
Yeah,
Fuck, I got
thank
lucky,
you for getting
man.
us not one.
Shitty.
Don't know what
kept
that
telling
was
you
about.
50.
Fucking internet.
Cowan's
Shit
not in the
bed.
group chat.
I couldn't even message anyone. I couldn't do anything. I was just like dead in the water, and I'm just freaking out. It was
I was an improv. I copy pasted, said
Oh,
help, and then walked
fuck.
away.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys talked about it earlier, but that video conference that we had going was just incredibly, probably not very helpful for me and my challenge, because literally I got in. All I had to do was take a picture, and I'm sure it was just you guys would just hear me running around screaming like, "Ah, I need a remote! I need a remote! Of course!" And I'm just like I'm clearly not able to help at all, and everyone else is kind of talking about, okay, we have 5 bags, we got a green one, and then I'm just in the background going, like, it was.
Give me
Mike,
a
I have to say,
toothbrush!
I did not like that challenge at all. Like, I was totally frazzled.
Yeah.
That
I
was
was not prepared.
that was a good challenge, Mike. That was a really good challenge.
So can I ask Meg and Mike, you know, what's this tribal council been like for you guys?
Yeah, Meg. What's
Yeah,
this
Meg,
like?
get in here.
Yeah.
Party! I love this.
Where's the flowers?
Fun costumes. No outright animosity at this time, except for jovial John. And we'll take it. I love it. Great to see you. Sorry to see you, but better you than anyone else. And it is nice that you guys lost together. That was a nice touch.
Cowan, you got to go down the next time. Like, what's that 1 point all about?
Fuck, I'm sorry.
So I want to ask. Well, go ahead, Colin. No, you're talking about nonsense anyway. Colin, good job getting the point.
No, yeah, I know. Can I make a quick comment too? The Sharon was talking about their tribe, and it feels like a second season to her. You know, we've all been through that, right? We've all been through the challenges and councils where people are lying, and like they went through a lot, right? They went through like a lot in, what was it, 3 weeks? Like it was
a really condensed Survivor Hamilton experience.
It was pretty intense. So really, for them coming out of that, it like I would feel like it would be a second season, right? Like we all went through that at some point, but it might not have been so quick and condensed, like you said, right? So the fact that they're starting a new season, and you know, I think they got a good mindset. That's great, right? That's going to only help our tribe to keep us going, right?
Do we even need to do the vote?
Yeah, it's tradition.
Thanks for the vote of confidence, Chelsea.
Oh, I voted, John. Don't you worry.
I wanted to ask one more question, and I'll ask you because you're.
Vote to John in the group chat. Not funny. Okay.
Very nice. I wanted to ask Chelsea, because you're talking anyway. Last night you guys had a reward challenge, and I wanted to ask if that had any impact at all, or kind of what that was like, not really with nobody knowing the result of that, or even what the reward was.
Well, it wasn't a reward. It was a clue to
There's a clue to a reward.
So as far as I'm concerned, whoever won it, good job. Congratulations on winning a clue. I've played Clue before. Doesn't mean you win. So we'll see how that goes. Like, okay, I'm a few White Claws in the bag, guys.
Voting that.
No, keep going. Keep going.
I don't know where you're going with that. I had no idea where you were going with that. There was the grandma in the kitchen with a butcher's knife.
This is for Chris. No,
Meg,
it's a clue. They haven't won a reward. We don't know what the reward is, but so far every reward has been Kyle, because he won the tribal choice, but eventually it comes out to the tribe what that reward is. So it wasn't an immunity idol, it was a reward. So we'll see what that was. Maybe, you know, John thought it was back from the dead. So maybe you get to be unexiled once you're exiled, which is a weird
or a clue
reward.
on how to get unexiled.
You know, how to get rid of the lead pipe. That is clearly incriminating.
Swim.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm done. I'm just going to drink.
Meg, was there something you wanted to say there? Well, we didn't hear any of it because everyone was yapping.
I'm just voting that everybody be drunk for tribal council moving forward because it's a really good vibe.
So you got to start your White Claws when the voting period opens, or maybe an hour before that.
You started at 6:30 when
yeah,
our votes started coming in, right, Mike?
I started at 6:30. I'm only on my second one.
I'm on my third. I had
but
to
the
leave.
cherry, the black cherry, I will say is better than the mango.
So good, isn't it?
The black cherry is really nice.
There were 772 at the LCBO by me. I bought 4. I think I'm going to go buy the other 700 and somebody else do the math. 48.
Yeah,
I only bought 6. That's not enough.
68. I missed 20. It's
Mike,
fine.
So Mike, if 6 of them come with an average of 12, and then there's one of the packages has 3 less, and you want the mango one, which is the one?
Hey, Mike, can we get to the vote? I've got company in my backyard, and something tells me I've got another video chat coming up. After this.
Sorry.
Can I ask, was there a new development, or John, was that all BS?
Well, we'll find out after the vote, won't we, Chelsea?
Yeah.
Nice, Johnny. Okay. Nice, John.
True to the end.
Okay. Well, let's get to the votes then. I appreciate everybody's participation. This was excellent. Really good.
Hey,
John,
Mike,
sorry for taking it so long.
I can't see your screen. Is that just
Yeah, I'm just seeing the
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's not good.
I see him. I think it's just Janet.
Mike, is this the right time to play the idol?
Yes, Kyle. Do it. Play the idol.
I'd like to play this fake idol for John.
Okay, well, you can't play a fake idol, but I understand where you're going with that. Yes, if anybody was going to play hidden immunity idol, now would be the time. And on this vote, nobody chose to play an idol, so all the votes will count. So let's get to them right now. First vote.
Wait! I gotta get my candle.
Okay, well, the first vote's for John House. Second vote, Elliot. Third vote. That was a nice delay there. Third vote, and I kind of feel bad for this one, but this is what I was given. John House. That's a John and a House.
Well played. I love the Pictionary game.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Of course you do, Chelsea. Fourth vote.
Shot? Sorry, I won't interrupt votes anymore.
John. That's 3 votes for John, 1 vote for Elliot. Fifth vote. House. We got a really creative bunch here. That's 4 votes for John, 1 for Elliot. 10th person voted out, Survivor Hamilton, Old Meets New, John House. John, buddy, that was unanimous 7-1 vote.
I figured it would be.
It's not for a lack of trying.
As you expected.
I gotta go down swinging anyways. If I'm gonna go down.
No, you did a good job, John. Hey, no, you gave her. That was good for you.
Yeah, that's the type of effort. That's the type of effort I want to see from people on the block. Is exactly what you did. That was awesome, and I'm disappointed that we don't get to see more of that. But you stick around. We won't take too much of your time. You know, you got people over. Everyone else, get lost. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thanks for the fun travel. This was great.
Bye, everybody.
Feel free to call me later. We can chat about it.
Goodbye. I'll miss you.
Bye. See you, John.
See you guys.
See you guys.
See everybody.
Later, everybody.